What's going on, everyone? Welcome back. Today, I wanted to showcase a Pokemon that has been double buffed this season, and yet for some reason, I don't see almost anyone running it. It's very bulky, it's very spammy. We're talking about our friend Mandabuzz. This Pokemon is one of the bulkiest picks in the game. It's able to take full advantage of Shadow Ball being cheaper as a charge attack, being only 4 Snarls to reach, and with Foul Play getting that damage increase as well this season, Mandabuzz has become a neutral nightmare if you don't have a hard counter to it. Really quickly, before we get into the battles, I want to say if you're not currently subscribed to the channel, please consider doing so. It helps out quite a bit, and I'd really appreciate it. But let's get into the battles and see what Mandabuzz can do. Shadow Caesar into Shadow Kanto Marowak. Okay. This is kind of weird, honestly. I have 2 better answers to this in the backline. Maybe it would be good for me to save my Caesar here. But we'll try our best to dance around this. Oh, interesting. They actually are the ones to swap out here. They bring in Charjabug, which is a Pokemon that my Mandabuzz definitely wants to avoid if possible. So, Furret's going to try its very best here to come in, go for Swifts, and neutralize this before they can really ramp up too much. We're at 4, so 1 away from back-to-back X-Scissors, which they have right now. And since they are going to have the energy lead by swapping in, they can outpace us here to the next move. But if I shield up this X-Scissor and Overfarm, I should get to my 3rd Swift before they can get much done here. But these Volt Switches are adding up. And, I mean, we'll see what they have in the backline. They seem kind of confident into Caesar so far. Dream. Okay. So, they have the X-Scissor, or, yeah, the X-Scissor right now. I have the double Swift myself. I'd love to see a shield here, honestly, but no, they do end up letting that go. If Charjabug, or, dude, I cannot speak. If Marowak comes in, I'm going to go for the Trailblaze here to guarantee a shield. We might get a shield, we might get a lot of damage here. It really depends on what they think is the right play. They do shield that up, okay. So they should right now be at 5. They throw an alignment here, which is kind of a good play, actually. Because I'm going to have to shield this either way. But now I can do a 1 and throw. Okay. Or they come in here with a Shadow Gator. And I think I just stay in at this point. I don't want to take an Ice Beam on my Mandabuzz if I can help it. Looks like that might have been a CMP here too, which would be amazing if that was the case. Big Night Slash. Our opponent at this point has CMP'd us. The big question is now going to be, do they CMP our Mandabuzz to the foul play? Is that what they're going to do next? Or do they try to get the Ice Beam off? We'll see. Nice. They do go for the Hydro Cannon, so we just overfarm. And I feel like that is the right play. But we'll see exactly what happens this game, because Marowak is still around, right? And Rock Slide's going to hurt quite a bit. And they're at the Rock Slide right now, so we'll see if we can survive the Rock Slide, plus the Mud Slap and other damage. I overfarm again, so I get another sneak here. Shadow Ball might have made it so this is farm down range. Maybe I should have gone for that instead. I don't exactly know my Mandabuzz ranges, I'll be real. But we're at back-to-back here. So now we go for the foul play against this. We go for the foul play against the Feraligatr. And that should be a win. That was... Honestly, that was kind of my fault that this game got so close. I don't know exactly how to play out Mandabuzz in a lot of these situations. I think if I went for a Shadow Ball against that Marowak, it might have been just enough damage to put it into a much more comfortable farm down range. But even still, Mandabuzz is just too bulky for them. We close out the game with it. Let's go. Alright, next opponent. We'll see Caesar into... That's not good. Into Shadow Typhlosion. I do not love this lead. Because not only is it bad for my Caesar, it's pretty bad as well for my Mandabuzz, because they likely have access to an attack known as Thunder Punch, right? And they're throwing it here against my Furret, so we'll see what we can do. They do stay in, actually. Okay. They are likely just going to 2-shield farm us down then. I wouldn't be surprised if there's a Zoomeril in the back. I've seen teams with Typhlosion quite a bit in the past, and Azu is a very common duo. That knocks me out? Oh, man! I thought I would... Wow, I thought I'd survive that Incinerate. Holy crap. 4 Incinerates and a Thunder Punch knocks out a Furret? Well, that's not good. Alright, I'm just going to CMP here, because they actually waited for a second to see what was going to come in. And now I can guarantee only taking one of these 2 Thunder Punches. But this is looking kind of awkward. I would not be surprised with an Azumarill in the backline. I'm really hoping, though, that my Shadow Caesar, once Typhlosion is out of the way, has more play. We'll see. They shield that up, though. I guess I'll shield myself here. We'll see what's in the back. I really have no idea. I've seen in the past ABA Incinerate users, which is insane to say, but I have seen teams like that before. And they had, like, Gourgeist plus the guy. But we actually see a swap out here into a Jellicent. I might survive this Surf. And if I do, that could be really good for us to have a chance to still win this game. I do survive it. I need to get a good undercharge here, because I need to come out of this matchup with a decent amount of energy on my Caesar for that Typhlosion. Nice, I think that's a pretty good undercharge. But I will take 1 Incinerate on my Caesar, which, man, that is going to hurt. Unless I get DRE. I might have just got DRE there, which is how the game is supposed to work. If I got it, I would be so happy, because I would love to have half my Caesar's health. No! We did not get it! Never mind! Yeah, we would have won this game with half our health remaining. But no. Dang it, man. Actually, Mandabuzz was so strong that game. That's so tragic, man. Alright, we gotta win this next one. That was tragic, that last game. Ludicolo, not a good lead matchup. I actually have 2 better answers in the back. I'm just gonna switch here and see what they want to do. And they are staying in, at least for a second here. And if I'm being honest, this is exactly where I want to see a Bastiodon. I do not have an answer to Bastion on my team, at least not a hard wall to it, right? So if I can get this thing taken care of here, then we should be in a much better spot. But Basti is kind of stupid sometimes, where it doesn't even matter if you start ramping up your damage with Trailblaze. It can just survive. It can just live. They're at 7, so they throw immediately on the Stone Edge. Let's see what we can do here. I just have to hope at this point that my fast move and charge attack pressure will be enough. They're at 1, 6 away from their next Stone Edge. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They should be 1 away from the next move, so likely we do see a shield come through right now, because they know that Shadow Caesar down shields, even if they lose Switch, is not the worst case scenario for them. And yeah, that is what happens. But we shield this up, we Sucker Punch down, and we have a +3 for it, so I can get some decent damage into whatever they bring in. Likely the Ludicolo, I would assume? Because they are probably just going to sacrifice that thing now. Okay, Empoleon comes in here, actually. I don't know if Shadow Caesar gets one-shot by a Hydro Cannon or not. Is that a crazy thing to say? Or... I think I'm just going to hope that I don't get one-shot. 5. Surely it doesn't do 100%. It's a non-Shadow guy here. They might try to switch now, though. And get the Astonish damage against us, yeah. So we swap as well to avoid that from happening. Okay. So this game, since I don't have Aerial Ace, is going to be kind of interesting to see what Shadow Ball can do in a situation like this. Shadow Ball here is probably still going to come close to 2-shotting, right? And these Weather Balls, while they will start kind of adding up over time, the Astonish damage is resisted, so this might still be pretty playable. Yeah, that is a 2-shot, nice. Alright. I just need to be able to be in a spot here where I can get both a Shadow Ball and a Night Slash into that Empoleon. And it looks like they're going to try to go for the play here where they're going to catch a Shadow Ball in a second, likely. No, they don't actually try to go for a catch. Instead, they just come back in Empoleon. And that's fine. I think this is fine, because that Ludicolo is not going to get a lot of energy out of my Caesar. And this Shadow Ball plus the Night Slash should be enough. In fact, I'm going to undercharge this a little bit. I honestly don't think they're going to, get knocked out or survive this move, even with the undercharge. But they do! Okay, beautiful! So now we don't even give the Ludicolo any extra energy here. I kind of figured even with the undercharge it would be enough to knock out, but there's no way they can undercharge and not knock me out. Even with a Drill Peck. So we go for the extra Snarl. Now we have the Shadow Ball. Ludicolo doesn't get any extra farm. And we saw how much the first one did. This should be enough damage here, right? I hope it is, because man, this was such a tricky lead. I would love for Mandy to have pulled this out. Let's go, dude. This Pokemon's just diabolical sometimes. Alright, next game. Caesar into Shadow Kwak. Alright. This is, as we have seen already, not the best matchup here for Shadow Caesar, but it's very playable, right? Our backline is better into this, though, which is what makes this so annoying. I'm losing so much of my HP on my Shadow Caesar right now, just from Mud Slap damage. But I can go for a Night Slash myself here, get either a shield or put them into farm down range. And now, I'm going to try to do a catch on a Bone Club. Whether or not it's a good idea to safe swap a Mandabuzz is up for debate. There could be a Basti in the back, and that would not be great. But there could also not be. Okay, it's not a Basti in the back. We're saved. This is so much better. Yeah, kind of saw that coming. If they're overfarming that much extra energy, it's like they know my energy on my Mandabuzz is so useless, it's not even funny. Luckily, I mean, since they were so slow on that swap out, I might be able to stall this long enough to bring my Caesar back in here and start putting in some work there again. I mean, these bullet punches on their own just do so much damage, so I think I'm fine with this. We'll shield at this move, go for a Trailblaze here, either get a shield or a knockout, and we have successfully saved our Mandabuzz a little bit. Oh my... Dude, they just caught on Wigglytuff? Okay, if I win this game, which I don't know if I can or not, because this honestly has a lot still that I need to go through. If I win this game, I don't even know what to say. One... I cannot believe it's Double Fairy. Marowak Double Fairy is insane. They're at 6, so they have access to an Icy Wind right now. I still have a lot of energy on my Mandabuzz, but I am getting lower on HP than I'd like to be. You get a shield? Okay. 7? I'm gonna no-shield this. I think I survived. Get the Swift off. We'll see. I don't know. Mandabuzz has so much work to do here. Swift should get the knockout. We'll see what they do, though. Likely Carbink comes back in, I'd have to guess. But, I mean, I bring in this guy either way. I have to shield this. Carbink's getting close to another attack, right? So I need to make sure that I can get a Shadow Ball off into the Carbink. That might have been a CMP. And I don't know if this Shadow Ball is quite enough damage to knock him out. If it is, I'd be so happy. Please, please knock out. Please knock out. I think that just knocked out. Dude, how did I just win this game? Double Fairy? Dude, Wigglytuff Carbink? Okay, they deserve this, man. They deserve this so much. Alright, next game. Caesar into Shadow Nair. Okay. I mean, honestly, the 2-shield matchup here is really nice for Shadow Caesar, so if they want to stay in, I'm fine with that. They're staying in. Likely going to get a shield pretty early on by going for the Aqua Tail. That's fine. Shadow Caesar does do a lot more fast move pressure here than the Dragon Breath are going to do to us, so we'll just go for the shield and see what they want to do. They bring in a Furret. And honestly, I'm kind of curious how good this matchup is for Mandabuzz. Now, whether or not they're on Brick Break might actually impact this matchup a little bit. Because Brick Break here would make it so I start taking more and more damage over time. But if they don't end up having that, then Swifts are just going to bounce right off of us. Yeah. And unfortunately for me, since I didn't throw earlier, I will have to go over 100 energy, but I think that's fine. Mandabuzz doesn't care. It's still not like losing a ton of energy by doing this. 2 foul plays, hopefully knockout, but I'm going to be honest, it's likely going to take all 3 at this point. Maybe I should have got some more bullet punch damage into them. Oh, honestly, it's kind of close here, actually. We'll see, though. But the big question is, do we want to let them farm down my Mandabuzz? And I don't know if the answer to that is a yes. Oh, they bring in the Dragonair here. Well, I'm fine with that. Shadow Ball is going to do a massive amount of damage. If they no-shield this, I just farm down. And if they shield this up, I have energy on my Caesar I can bring in. Okay. They must have not realized how much damage Mandy can do nowadays. Burt is still around, but if they bring that back in, I have a foul play. If they bring in the third, we trip it down, and we see their full team before I have to reveal anything about my third. Okay. Well, you see the final Pokemon here is a Spark Lantern? Okay, this is a crazy team. That's kind of a blast from the past. Lantern Dragonair Core. It's kind of cool, though, I guess. I'll bring in my Furret now, because at this point, I'm in a pretty good spot. I can just go straight Trailblaze. Even if they go for a catch here, that doesn't really matter. The fast move pressure is just going to start adding up way too much against them. And I have a lot of energy left over on my Caesar, too. They do catch, which I guess is a good play. But we have to keep in mind, Trailblaze is going to allow me to farm them down if they no-shield. And then I just start going for Sucker Punches and Swifts now into the Lantern. And my Switch Clock's coming back up, too. I can just bring in my Caesar here if I need to. Yeah, big Swift. It's a +1 Swift. It might not be super effective like Trailblaze, but Lantern's getting pretty low here. Comes the move. Our opponent does shield that up, but I can just bring in my Caesar now and go double Night Slash. Nice, this is looking like a win here. I'm glad I didn't see that Spark Lantern on my Mandabuzz. I probably would have been pretty upset about that if we did. But luckily, even with Spark Lantern, right, you have a lot of neutral damage with Mandabuzz, so it's not a great matchup, but you got a lot of play into it nonetheless, but we'll take the win here. Was that our last game of the set? Might have been. Yes, the 4-1 to start out. Not bad. Not bad at all. What does that get us to? Up to 29-13. Okay, well, let's keep it going. All right, next game. Caesar into Shadow Caesar. Okay. This is, believe it or not, about as neutral as it gets. I do have access to Night Slash. They have access to Night Slash. It's all down to that boost to see who can come out on top here. They do win CMP. I don't love that. And the thing I also don't really like about this matchup is we have Altaria in the backline that is not going to be, or not, did I say Altaria? We have Mandabuzz, different bulky flyer. We have Mandabuzz in the backline that does wall the energy that is not going to be against this Pokemon. Hopefully they didn't boost here. Doesn't look like they did. Always hard to tell when CMPs happen. I'll let this go. I'm going to farm down with my Furret. It is a shame that we don't win Switch Advantage, but maybe the energy lead on our Furret could be good. Oftentimes you see, oh, dude, I'm going to take so much Bullet Punch damage for no reason now. I take literally like 90% of my HP just from Bullet Punches, and they switch. Oh my goodness, guys, I think we know what's in the back. I think we know what's in the back. Almost certain it's a Bastion, but maybe it's not. Maybe it's not Bastion. Maybe there's still a chance for us. 7. We have the Swift, but man, I don't know if there's much play here. They do no-shield that, interestingly enough. 8. I guess I'll shield this, you know? I need to try my best to keep my resources open. They do Ice Beam, so I'm going to CMP on the next potential attack here. When I lose to the Bastion, I'm going to cry. This is not supposed to happen. This is not how the day is supposed to play out. They shield. What if there's a ghost in the back? A ghost in the back would be beautiful. Maybe there's a Jellicent. There's always a chance it's a Jellicent or for Alligator or something. Wait. Hold on. That is not the Basti. That's the Mandy. Or Malamar. One day, I'll get my names right. It's the Malamar. And Malamar good. Malamar very good. This is about as good as can be. I think that was a CMP too. I guess it could be a Hyper Beam. But I still survive. And if that's a CMP, they only get... Oh, it is! What? Okay. They actually have Hyper Beam. Then again, Shadow Hyper Beam doesn't do anything to Mandabuzz. Mandabuzz is too good. We snarl this down. We snarl down the Azu. This is a Mandy sweep. Okay, that was unexpected. Let's go. All right, next game. I don't know it's going to be pretty easy to top that last one. That last one was pretty interesting. we see a bit of a bad lead here, but it is playable for Caesar later on if I get shields down. I'm just going to switch, though. Furret should be able to survive the fast move pressure pretty well, and I have Trailblaze potentially. They do just throw a body slam here, so it's not a water pulse. We don't have to shield this up. We just no shield, and they likely swap into something to absorb our energy. It's their own Shadow Caesar. All right. They're a little bit soft this game to Mandabuzz, it looks like, which is fine. Mandabuzz surely is 3 times strong into their team. 3, 4, 5, 6. Wow, they let me get the second Swift off here? That's actually kind of big. If this lands, there's a good chance I can win switch advantage. Okay, and if it doesn't, that's also maybe fine. Because I can bring in my Mandabuzz here, and Mandabuzz falls the conventional Shadow Caesar moveset, right? Trailblaze as well as Night Slash all resisted here. I don't know what they're building up to right now, but they have, like, back-to-back Trailblazes. They probably should have just thrown instantly with the Trailblaze to ramp up their Bullet Punch damage, but that's fine. They're Night Slashing? Weird. Why did I Shadow Ball? I'm so bad at this game. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. We're probably winning this anyway. I should not have done that. Oh my goodness, I'm an idiot. I should not have done that. I'm so bad. I don't know what I thought just came in there. But... okay. I mean, we're still in a really good spot, though, because our Mandy's in a... Okay, well, that's also good for us. Yeah, we win this game. We did that for dominance. That was an intentional Shadow Ball to BM the opponents. Yeah, that's what we say. That's what we say here. We just win, though, no matter what. Man, that's embarrassing. That's a little bit embarrassing. Alright, Night Slash gets the shield. Do I get another move off? I might. Only force energy out of them either way here. I think they could have maybe farmed us down if they wanted to try to, but our Bullet Punch damage has basically put them into Shadow Ball range. Now, this is a Pokemon worth Shadow Balling. Just gonna put that out there. Shadow Ball likely the better play against this. Although it might not knock out. Honestly, I guess I need 2 attacks anyway. So Shadow Ball should do a decent chunk, and then I finish him off with the Foul Play. They would need 2 Water Pulses from here to even come close to knocking us out. Gastro, unfortunately, does not have a lot of play into Mandabuzz. I mean, fortunately for us, that's the case, right? Yeah, we're just too bulky. Despite wasting, like, literally 50 energy this game, Shadow Balling a Fearow, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. We Foul Play the Gastro. Eventually we'll win this one as long as the game's not lagging out here. Okay, good. I was getting a little bit worried there for a second. Let's go. Alright, next game. We learned our lesson last game. Don't Shadow Ball the normal types. We've also won a lead, which is, it's not common for that to happen here. So I'm happy with that. Oh, wow. This is what they bring into us? That is insane. I mean, at this point, I just Night Slash. If they no-shield, I one-shield farm down. If they shield this, then I shield, and I just... That shields, I guess. They do no-shield. That's beautiful. Shadow Caesar. That is uncalled for. You did not need to do that. I would imagine, though, they have to have at least one Shadow Caesar counter this game, right? If they don't, then I'll just keep on shielding and keep on punching. Okay. We'll just swap here. No reason not to. I want to bait out that Weezing again. And we survive a Stone Edge, if that's what they're going for. I just need to keep my Caesar for that Weezing, and we're fine. I wish we could have stayed in there. I wish it was, like, a second fairy in the back, but there's no reason they'd ever have that, I guess. And also, I guess depending on their moveset here, maybe this matchup is not even that bad for Mandabuzz, which might be odd to say. They're at 5. So they have a Sludge. 6. They're going to go for a Sludge here, almost certainly, to knock out our Furret, but they're going to try to overfarm as much as possible. Okay, let that go, wow. 10? Okay. Well, it's been nice for it. It's been real. If they Brutal Swing to knock us out, then we know their moveset. Yeah. I mean, now I don't even need to shield my Caesar here. Against a Brutal Swing. Well, maybe I do. Like, what if this is Brutal Swing Overheat? That'd be insane. Yeah. We're fine. Because no realistic person would run that, surely. We'll Night Slash here. And we just bring in our Mandabuzz, and we should be in a pretty good spot to just start spamming out Shadow Balls. They have Stone Edge here, which is super effective against us, but what they don't realize is I survive a Stone Edge pretty comfortably. I'll shield the first, it's the most likely Stone Edge. And they do full send. And now, barring a catch, this game is basically completely over. But even with a catch, I think we're in a really good spot. They no-shield hoping that they survive the fast food pressure after the fact, but, I mean, at this point, I don't think they have any chance. I snarl down. And even if I don't, I bullet punch down. Wheezing likely comes in here. But we can just go for the foul play. 1, to stall at the switch clock, and 2, to try to get his shield. I mean, if they no-shield, I just farm down. If they shield, then I swap. And I do that. And now I do that. That was a fun one. Let's go. Alright, next game. We'll see. Caesar, the Gorgeist. Oh boy. That is, believe it or not, one of my less favorite leads I could see here. But I'm going to go for a Bullet Punch and then swap. Bullet Punch does about the same damage as a Sucker Punch would do. And that way, I might be able to outpace this Gorgeist later on if they don't remember that I did that Bullet Punch earlier. And it's not like Furt's charge attacks here are, like, even remotely efficient. Carbink comes in. Yes, it's good that we baited this out. Doesn't really give me much hope, though, for the backline. There's a good chance here the final Pokemon is another hard answer to Mandabuzz. And they can just farm us all the way down here. I don't love that. I might get another attack off, but it's only going to be a Swift, if anything. Okay. I survived this. I'm going to no-shield. Because I should still be able to get that Night Slash off against this Gorgeist, right? That's why I did that extra Bullet Punch earlier in that matchup. Now I don't get incinerated down before I reach this move. I might get his shield here, too. I actually do against a Gorgeist, which is beautiful news for people with Mandabuzz in the back. They don't throw in the best of timing, but that's likely because they just want to get a move off and sacrifice their Gorgeist. We'll see. There's a chance here Mandabuzz can put in some work, but, I mean, there's still that Carbink around that we have to deal with. There's still a third Pokemon we don't even know about this game. They do let that go. Carbink likely comes back in here, even if it's just to drain my energy a little bit. And we'll try to get a shield or a knockout. Please tell me they're just disrespectful to the Mandabuzz. Please, that would be so great. Playable? Maybe? I mean, one Hydro Cannon surely doesn't knock me out, right? I guess maybe I just go straight foul play here to try to outpace. Nine. I don't know. I can get to back-to-back foul plays here. The problem is, right now, they're at their Hydro Cannon. Do they call the catch? Or do they instantly throw? Haha! Go for the foul play. And this should put them into Sucker Punch downrange now. They called the catch. We just full sent. Technically, I could have Shadow Balled there. That would have been more efficient, but I just played it safe. I knew we'd be able to fast move down as long as we landed that move. Let's go, man. Mandabuzz is just too good. All right, final opponent of this set. We're 4-0 currently. Can we get the 5-0 with Mandabuzz? Funnily enough, this is actually the perfect lead here, because my backline is so weak to this. Even my flying-type Pokemon is just so absurdly bad into Pangoro. Because if we think about it, I'm using Dark and Ghost-type damage only on my Mandabuzz. We would have no pressure whatsoever into this Pokemon. So seeing this here is pretty nice. Shield and Night Slash. Dream. And they come in with the Feraligatr. which is an interesting choice. Not a bad choice at all. 4, 5, 6. I'm going to shield this up. I just kind of want to whittle down this Gator as much as I can here. And make it so maybe my Furret is not unplayable into that Pangoro later on this game. Trailblaze to guarantee a knockout. And they do go for the shield. 13. Alright, we'll have to go for a Swift here to knock this out before they get a second Hydro Cannon through him. And now Gator is taken care of. And I think we're just outside of Night Slash range, which is pretty good for us, but I could be in a little bit of trouble depending on the final Pokemon this game. Night Slash actually would come close to knocking us out from here, I think. In fact, it straight up does. Night Slash will knock us out. But we can save our Shadow Scizor, at least what's left of it. And Mandabuzz can survive a close combat, and I think they get the boost, man! This is actually really bad now. Holy crap. Of course they get the boost. Close combat's gonna do so much. Yeah, this is game over, maybe. I was not anticipating the boost there. Ow, I just lost 90% of my Mandabuzz, guys. I don't think there's any Pokemon now that I beat in the back. Ugh. Should have gone for a catch, maybe. If it's like a ghost type like I think it might be. Oh, it's, Shadow Charizard. No, I don't know. Man, if they didn't get that boost, I think I would have won this game, because what I would have done is I could have farmed down the Goro with my Scizor, or at least force energy out of them, or get a Simul KO. And then Mandy just tanks the energy from that Pangoro. You know, I don't think I can ever get a 5-0. I think that whenever I get like 4-0 to start out, it's always going to be a loss in that 5th game. It's just fate, I guess. That's tragic, but I guess we'll keep our heads up knowing it was not a bad set. Mandabuzz is just a monster. It is so bulky, it is so spammy, everything about it is just so hard to take down if you're not prepared for it. It's a Pokemon that I hope I don't see too many mirror matches of, because that might take like 3 or 4 minutes to play out with this moveset, but even still, this Pokemon is a lot of fun to use, or at the least, it's a lot of fun to hard counter your opponents with. Anyways, thank you so much for watching, take care, and I'll see you in the next one.